This is a PDF document that I wanted to read to better understand how there's people in power worldwide that are able to control this reality, and they are always on code. For instance, in 2020, the entire world was able to be shut down at their direction without any pushback from corporations who were supposedly losing billions of dollars by being shut down, supposedly by this disease that was so deadly, it required the whole world to be shut down. But right now, you say that you had that, and it's like you had the cold. It's no big deal now. Yet the fact that there was no pushback from these corporations that generally are run by greed and profits, that they were all able to just come to this consensus worldwide, it made no sense to me. It does not make sense if reality is truly the reality that we believe that it is, where people have individual minds and autonomy to make decisions and to have disagreements like they are supposedly having on a daily basis. But when it comes to pushing agendas, they all just seem to get on code. And I believe it's a DNA code. I believe the only explanation of being able to get on code, across the board, worldwide, regardless of what corporation you're running, regardless of what country you're running, to just all be able to agree for certain agendas with no significant pushback from any of them, it lends itself to me to be proof that we are living in a computer simulation and that there is programming. And when we use terms like they all got on code, I believe that that really is computer code, which is actually DNA code that is based in technology. Now, I was informed about this document, which is a PDF file. Just looking at a video and looking in the comments section, someone made mention of this document. So it is supposedly about the fact that there are groups of beings in this so-called reality that have a pact with the so-called God of this world, who is described in the witchcraft book of the Bible as being Satan, or Lucifer is the God of this world. But because these groups of people have their allegiance to this entity, that's what gives them the power that they have, the sweeping power that they have on a global scale. And that this document is going to discuss their power, the secret world government that most people don't really know about, the hidden hand, which is the spiritual direction that's being given to these entities in this realm to be able to direct the events of this realm. Someone in the comment section made mention of this document, so I am going to read this document to try to fill in the gaps of understanding, like give me some type of understanding, because my spirit is telling me this is a computer simulation that's includes a lot of beings that are programmed through their DNA to play roles and characters. So I think ultimately that's the answer. Why there's a simulation that we're being a part of, the purpose of it, I can only guess. But I do believe that that is the case. We have scientific proof that's now coming to light that proves that this is a simulation. I won't get into that right now, but there is proof out there, scientific experiments that have been done to prove that we are in a computer simulation. But I want to read this document to just understand more about this secret world government and this hidden hand. And hopefully it sheds lights on the spiritual aspect of this reality. That's ultimately what I want to understand is I know this is not the reality that we've been taught it is. The Mandela effects prove that case as well. So I am more concerned with how do I ascend out of this existence? I don't want to be perpetually in this realm. I don't want to keep reincarnating into this realm and going through the same experience over and over again, which I think this is in a loop. I don't believe in linear time and that history has been linear. I believe this is cyclical and this simulation keeps resetting itself. But I'm interested to read this document to just understand the spiritual aspect, because I do believe that there is more than one God. I believe that there is some type of battles going on in the spiritual realm with opposing sides that are potentially at odds with one another. I believe that there may have been rebellion that caused this realm that we're in, and that the rulers of this realm is, made up of wicked beings. I don't believe that they're benevolent. Obviously, looking at how this realm exists and the things that occur in this realm and that are allowed to occur doesn't speak to a benevolent being that would allow this to take place, all the atrocities that take place. So it seems to me that this is a wicked realm that is being headed by wicked beings. And I want to read this document to try to get more understanding of what is this realm? How is it being ruled? Who's ruling it? And why? How did the powers that be get the power that they have? Why are they programmed in their DNA to carry out the atrocities that they do on a global scale? How do they all, get in sync with one another to carry out global agendas? So far, what I've gotten, I'm going to stop here after page 6. So far, what I've gotten from this is that they're basically calling the Jews sons of the devil. They're saying Mongols, that some of the Jews are mixed with Mongols or Asiatic nations. And the point of view of the author of this book obviously is coming from a white Anglo perspective, Anglo-Christian perspective. So it sounds as though this author is referring to Christ as his savior. So he's coming at this perspective from a Christian point of view, believing in the book of the Bible and referring to the words of so-called Jesus. And it sounds as though he's making the white Aryan nation and people separate from the so-called Jews, and saying that these Jewish people are following the Talmud, which I have heard the Talmud is a very wicked book with wicked beliefs. And he's calling their beliefs evil and saying actually they are from the devil. and saying that they are murderous, that they have a lust for murder. And so if we go back here, let's just show that. Okay, so he's saying that Satan's lust of murder and that the Jews, his sons, will do it. He's saying that the Jews are carrying out the lustful will of their father Satan for murder. Now, he also brings out in these first 6 pages how this secret world government will not go for peace. They don't want peace. They want bloodshed. So let me see if I can find that. Yeah, so here it says its aim is bloodshed. Let's see here where it's okay. It says, because if by one report I were able to save 5 million Aryans, because this author is saying that he gave advice for Austria to just basically stop a war that they were having, and then Germany wind up surrendering when Austria decided to stop the war, and that because they were able to stop the war, take his advice, it saved 5 million of Aryans from getting killed. He says, because if by one report that he made asking them to, stop this war, I were able to save 5 million Aryans, one would reasonably expect that I could save many more. But that is precisely what the world government does not want. Its aim is bloodshed. He says, why? As the 300 Judeo-Mongols who compose it, they compose this world government, are converted Mongols. So he's saying they're converted Mongols. They are twofold more the children of hell. So he's saying because their mixture is Jews plus Mongols, that gives them twice the fact that they are children of hell, because they're part Jew and part Mongol. So in the first 6 pages, this is what I'm getting. He's trying to separate the white Aryan race as though they are so much better than Jews, and that only the Jews in this, their lineage is mixed with Asiatic, lineage, that they are children of the devil, but somehow the white Aryan race doesn't have the same lust for murder and bloodshed. So far, I don't believe in Christianity at all. I believe it's a book of witchcraft. I believe the God that the book of the Bible is really based on is really having people worship Lucifer, Satan. That is the God of the book of the Bible. It describes Satan, Lucifer, way more than it describes any benevolent being. And in the scriptures, Lucifer is described as the morning star, as well as so-called Jesus in Revelation is also described as the morning star. So they both are described as the morning star. The same rituals that are, talked about in Christianity are the same rituals that Satanists do, as far as eating flesh and drinking blood and having baptism, having animal sacrifice, having child sacrifice or human sacrifice. All of that is satanic as well as Christian. It's all the same God that they're serving. So because I don't really have a distinction between the Aryan race versus the Jewish race versus the Mongols or Asians, I think it's all the same. It's interesting to read this because I don't see any distinction. I think that they all are from the same God, and they all are the children of the same source. They all have the same inclinations to hatred and murder and bloodshed, and in all of the negative, aspects of their father, the devil, which is greed and murder and violence and hatred. So it's a little bit challenging to read this, me knowing that it's all the same people, all from the same source, all from the same Father. But I'm going to continue to read it just because I want to understand the moves that they're making and how contrived it is, and to get further proof that they are in cahoots with their father, the devil, and that everything that transpires in this realm is based on agendas being carried out by groups of people purposely who are working together to accomplish these agendas. And it is a global government, it is a global secret government, and it is a hidden hand, which is in the spiritual realm, that is controlling all of this. So, with that, I'll leave it there for now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Bye for now.